Welcome to 301 Banter, a show having conversations with the finest athletes across Minnesota. We delve into the trials and tribulations of the athletes, coaches, and broadcasters that make the sports world in Minnesota tick. So whether you're a diehard sports fan or just curious to learn about different people, join us for discussions and behind-the-scenes glimpses into Minnesota's vibrant sports community.
Today we are joined by someone who has had quite the hockey journey so far, and he's just getting started. Growing up in Roseau, he built his game in one of the state's most historic programs before moving to the USHL with the Fargo Force. From there, he took his talents to the University of Minnesota, where he became a reliable player for the Gophers and eventually wore the C as a captain his senior year. Now, he's stepping into the professional level in the Penguins organization. Aaron Huglen joins 301 Banter right now. All right, so when we go back to the beginning here, growing up, what initially drew you to the sport of hockey?
Yeah, so I grew up, when I was about 6 years old, I moved to Roseau, Minnesota, which is obviously a pretty famous hockey town. But even before that, my parents, especially my dad, wanted us boys to play hockey. I've got two brothers, and so he got us on the ice probably when we were, just learning to walk, just holding us up and letting us, feel the ice. So I got on the skates pretty early, and then yeah, I think it was just through his support and my brothers were both playing too, so we all liked doing it together.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, Roseau was a big part of, your background with growing up there and then eventually going on to play high school hockey
Yeah,
for the Roseau Rams. How did that part of just growing up in Roseau shape you as a player?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think obviously just the culture in Roseau is very passionate about their hockey, and so I just got thrown into it and loved it. And I just remember the rink was always open, so it's different down in the cities maybe where you have an hour time slot to get on the ice, but growing up that was never a thing. It was always just when you wanted to skate, you pretty much had access to the rink. So it was always just meeting up with my buddies and brothers and just playing different games together and skating all the time. So I definitely owe a lot of my skill development to just that time playing with my buddies.
Yeah, and I can imagine having, you know, like you said, friends or other people to compete against is massive and growing in any sport. And one of those things in Roseau that gets very competitive is in my opinion the best rivalry in the state of Minnesota in high school sports being Warroad versus Roseau. So what was that like for you being able to play in that rivalry?
Those were the best games. Yeah, I mean it's yeah the most fun. Both times we play one in Warroad and then one in Roseau, and every time the game is packed. I think most of each town is in the building, so it's a great atmosphere, and obviously it's been a really long tradition. So it's special to be a part of and playing those games.
Yeah, for sure. So you then went to the USHL with Fargo, the Fargo Force. How was that transition for you from going from high school to the juniors in the USHL?
It was great. I played my first year of high school. I played in the Minnesota Elite League, and that was a really good experience. And then it was my senior year when I decided to do it before and after. So I played in Fargo before the high school season, and then went back to high school for my senior year, and then after the season went back to Fargo, and that was a really good time of development playing in the USHL, and then being able to come back to high school and try and dominate there. So yeah, I think that was a really good path for me, and I'm grateful I got to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the before and after the high school season is appealing for a lot of players because they can still, chase the dream of the state tournament and play in um the MSHSL and it is still a pretty good league too.
Oh yeah,
Even if it's a high school a high school league.
yeah, no doubt.
So then in Fargo, what was the fan base like there and how did the fans treat the players in Fargo?
It was great. Fargo has a really good, fan base. It's obviously just a growing city, and I think of guys like Kerry Eads, their general manager and president, and he did a great job just promoting the force, and we had some really good coaches with Kerry, Pierre Paul Lamoureux, Eli Rosendahl, a lot of guys, and yeah, so I think it was great, and the fans were always there on the home games, and even traveling in playoffs a bit too. So yeah, really good fan group there.
Yeah, so then how much of a help were the Force in preparing you, you know, for that next step, maybe even both on and off the ice?
Very helpful. It was, juniors is a good opportunity because you get a lot of games. So you have just a lot of opportunity to learn and grow during that time. And, it's a time where you're pretty much just playing hockey. So you have a lot of time to devote to it. And yeah, and it's obviously a very good league, a lot of high end talent. So yeah, it definitely helped me tremendously in getting to the Gophers.
Yeah, so speaking of the Gophers, um, what made you choose the University of Minnesota over, other schools that you may have been recruited by?
Yeah, when I went to Minnesota, yeah, I went on a visit there. I think like my junior year of high school before I committed, and it was just a it was just unbelievable. I grew up looking at guys like Aaron Ness. He was graduated in Roseau in 2007, and I was, yeah, just like I knew he played there. It was pretty special. I always looked up to him, and when I saw the facilities and the coaches, it was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah, so then you played 4 years for the Gophers. What was your favorite memory wearing the maroon and gold?
Yeah, I would say, obviously, I think about our my sophomore year. That was when we had, guys like Nice and Cooley, and when we made it to the national championship game. Unfortunately, lost, but that was a really special group to be a part of. Just yeah, I mean, it'll be fun to look back on that team. Getting older. But I think if I had to pick one moment, this past year, um, actually, I'm married, so my wife and I had our daughter in February, and we had our senior night, and so I got to have my wife and my daughter, my parents, all on the ice together after the game. So that was something that I think really culminates, my career, and yeah, something that I'll always cherish.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations on the birth of your daughter.
Thank you.
Hope you can be getting at least some sleep
Yeah,
here. Um,
right.
but you went from like a fantastic rivalry in high school with Roseau Warroad to another great rivalry in college hockey with Minnesota and North Dakota. and how would you compare those rivalries to each other?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I think I think it's um, pretty set by a lot of people that those are, you know, Roseau Warroad, probably the best rivalry in high school, and then the Gophers and the Sioux, best rivalry in college hockey. So yeah, it was super fun. When I look back on, my favorite games, it was definitely those games playing North Dakota. So yeah, it was always just a crazy atmosphere, and yeah, something I dreamed about as a kid. So it was really fun to play in those games.
Yeah. So then you were also your senior year were named as a captain of the Gophers. What did that mean to you to wear the C on your jersey?
Yeah, it meant a lot. We actually had like six captains, six people who wore letters. Because yeah, it just was a testament to the group of guys that we had, and there was a lot of leaders on the team. But yeah, to be among those guys was an honor, and yeah, it was yeah really cool.
Yeah. So the pros are going to be the next step for you. You're um in the Penguins organization, and if you had to describe your playing style and your game to Penguins fans, how would you describe it?
I would say I'm a skilled forward. I like to create offense and also to be responsible, defensively. It's part of the game. Some people can forget, so I like to play both ends, play hard, and yeah, I'm excited for that next step.
Yeah. Um, what goals do you have for yourself as you transition into the pros?
Yeah, just not to back down, play confidently, and yeah, it's a big step going into the pros. So I'm just excited to get this first year under my belt and yeah, really see what I can do with it.
Yeah. So then obviously you graduated or and we're done with college this past year. And if you weren't playing hockey, if you weren't taking that next step into the pros, what would you see yourself doing now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I got a degree in business marketing, um, so I would probably be looking for a job of some sort in that regard. But yeah, I'm interested in like financial advising. I'm also a believer in Jesus, so I love telling people about him. Um, so yeah, something along those lines maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Um, when you look back at your career thus far, um, who has had the biggest impact on it?
Hmm. Yeah, I would probably have to say my parents. It's amazing how much is required to um, you know to get good, and it's a lot of sacrifice and time and energy from our parents, and so I definitely have to give credit to them and thank them for all the hours and money that they put into it. Um, so yeah, I would definitely say my parents.
Yeah, yeah. And then the last question I ask everybody this as the same last question. So if you um, or what advice do you have for young players that are looking to play hockey past high school?
I would say, uh, if you're good enough, they'll find you. Meaning the people that are in the next steps. I think there's often misconception that you need to do X, Y, and Z to make it. And I would say just to focus on improving each day and yeah, putting in the effort, and if you're good enough, they will find you. So take a breath and just keep working.
Yeah, for sure. Focus on what you can control, and they'll find you.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, thank you for joining us today and taking the time to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you having me on.
Massive thank you to Aaron Huglen for taking the time to sit down and talk today. We wish him the best in this upcoming season, and we'll be watching the rest of his career. Thank you to those who watched this episode. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me a lot. Comment down below someone you want to see on the show next. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.